And this is Wayne Blau with another smart profit maximizing system. And this is profit maximizing moment. And this is Tessie. I'll say hi, Tessie. Today we're gonna talk about 3 ways guaranteed to cut your 2019 business taxes. All right, Tessie. One's down. Guaranteed. It works every time it's tried. It's simple as that. Easiest money you're ever going to find in your business is making sure you control your tax budget. Before I get started, my name again is Wayne Blau. I'm a founder of a local CPA firm in El Paso, Texas since 1991. Been doing this a long time. Been doing tax returns since the mid-70s. Passed the CPA exam in 1977. So other than a 5-6 year period where I was the chief financial officer, comptroller, and then chief financial officer of Magnolia Coca-Cola Bottling Company, I've been working with tax returns. It's what I do. And I can literally tell you that your tax preparer, more likely than not, is not cutting your taxes. All right. Have you ever thought about when you were signing your tax return, am I sure that I'm really paying the lowest amount possible? I mean, as a business owner, you're like me going to the doctor or the dentist. I trust the professional that's there. Hey, stop chewing on my toe. All right, don't ignore the puppy. She's chewing on my feet. Yeah, now my hand. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, so I'll go. A little hard to do anything around here with a puppy sometimes. Yeah, I mean, you trust the professional when you thought I lost my place, didn't you? And you trust the professional when you go to them. And that's the same thing. You pick a tax pro, they say they do tax returns, you think they are. Here's the problem. Even if they're good at doing tax returns, that doesn't mean you're paying the lowest amount possible. All right? Really doesn't. At the end of the day, when I'm working on tax returns like I am right now for the extension deadline that's coming up, corporations in 2 weeks, September 15th, individuals October 15th, or when I'm doing them during the normal filing period, though I'm beginning to think this is the normal filing period, I'm in compliance mode. I'm worried about making sure that you pay the lowest amount possible. All right? Now, I told you there's 3 things we focus on as a CPA. 2 of them have to do with taxes, but one is making sure that you make as much money as possible. And truthfully, the second one's related to it. Keep it as much as possible. Part of the reason for these videos is to help you do both. All right? So, we've helped a lot of clients make more money with our coaching programs, and we've saved over $4.3 million in the last 3 years alone. 3 years alone. We've been doing tax planning a lot longer than that, but that's how long we've been tracking our savings. So helping them keep track of their savings in the last 3 years alone, $4.3 million. That's money that they got to keep. That's money that they worked hard for, they didn't have to send to the IRS. All right. So how did they do it? How did I help them do it? Well, that's the key. There's 3 steps to it. All right. First is understanding that your tax preparer is not, at the time they're doing your return, worrying about cutting your taxes. First of all, it's history. That's stuff that happened last year. I have very few arrows in my quiver after the first of the year. So that's first thing. Take tax planning seriously. Do it before the end of the year. Get with your tax pro and make sure. Now, let me ask you a question. When was the last time your tax pro came to you with a proactive tax plan, with a proactive tax advice? And don't tell me, it's just they told me to buy some equipment at the end of the year. Hell, most of them don't even do that. Okay, to be frank about it, they wait for you to come in, they do your tax return, tell you what your bill is. Do you like $50,000, $80,000 surprises? I don't even like giving those to my clients. As simple as that. All right. So I'd much rather plan with a client. Matter of fact, when I pick up a new client, we talk about tax planning. And we talk about, if you're having a good year, make sure you call me. And we talk about, if you're a certain size business, I'm not even really willing to do your tax return unless we do some tax planning. Because I hate handing that bill to somebody saying, hey, you had a good year. Here's, by the way, send $50,000 to the IRS. Send $100,000 to the IRS. Or in the worst case, send $1 million to the IRS. Would have had that if I hadn't done tax planning. One client, we cut their bill by $750,000 last year. All right, it's construction business. Certain businesses we can do more. All right, but even in a smaller business, I had a smaller business that was, we saved them $10,000 to $15,000. All right, let me get that out of the way. Sorry, it's not, you can't see it, but it bothers me. So $10,000 to $15,000 for somebody making $30,000, $40,000 is a lot of money. All right. With basically a 25% return above what they had. All right. So the first step is planning. Get with your tax pro and do some planning. Now, like I said, not all tax pros are created equal. Simple as this. If they're not busy in November, December, they're not serious about doing tax planning. Those are two of my busiest months because I'm seriously doing tax planning. So I'm touching all my largest clients and looking at them and saying, man, we need to look at this and see if we got something we can do here, all right? Now, understand, there's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. The old accounting joke is, the difference is 20 years. I didn't say it was a good joke. Tax evasion is illegal, all right? But tax avoidance isn't. A Supreme Court decision back early in the tax returns life, the tax code's life, said that you don't have a responsibility to pay the most amount of tax possible. In fact, you have almost a moral obligation to pay only what you're supposed to pay. So whether you invoice something you could invoice in December but wait until January, if you're just doing it because you don't want to pay tax and you actually finish the work, then that's evasion. But if you're doing it because you really didn't finish the work, you could bill it early, or you could rush to get it done, or you could just delay a week and it's not done until January. That's avoidance. If you're doing an S-Corp because you want to minimize Social Security and Medicare, that's not illegal as long as you're paying yourself a good salary, a reasonable salary. Not a good salary, a reasonable salary. And we could have an argument over what that is, all right? That's avoidance. Those are just some of the steps. The Augusta rule, how to deduct medical deductions for a business owner, all kinds of things, retirement plans, tons of different things that we can go over, all right? Tax planning is serious, and we're not talking about just a little thing. Give me a second, I'm gonna walk off camera and go, that's a no-no. But this is a typical tax plan that we do for a client. This one even says, Mr. and Mrs. Sample Taxpayer. It's from 2016 and 2017, so I should redo it. But it's serious. We don't just throw a few things together. We're customizing it. Is your tax pro not doing that? Then you're not paying the lowest amount of taxes you can, okay? Second thing, you need to get a little bit more educated about the taxes, all right? It's as simple as that. I'm not saying you need to be a tax professional. Tessie, get out of there. She's chewing on cord. Sorry about that. Don't want that. Don't want to fry the dog. What? No, I don't have another treat for you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not saying you need to be a tax professional. The analogy I use is if you take somebody to a football game the first time, they've never seen one before, or a hockey game, they're lost. They're not enjoying it. After the first few minutes of seeing the crowd and she's being a pest today. She's chewing on me. Seeing the crowd and watching the excitement of the live event and 20,000 or more people there, they get bored because they don't know what's going on. Okay, so but with a little bit of knowledge, they start to enjoy the game. A little bit more knowledge, you start to understand the intricacies and the strategies and what's going on. But that doesn't make you even good enough to coach a Y team, at the YMCA, or a kids team. You need more information, not a lot more, but you do need more information to coach a baseball team, for example, or a soccer team or a hockey team. You need even more to do it at a junior high, even more to do it at a high school level, even more to do it at a college level, and if you need to be at the top of your game to do it at the pro level. I'm not trying to make you a pro, but you do need to know how the game's played, because then you can know a few things, how to structure yourself and your business and your activities in order to make sure that you're doing things correctly, all right, that you take advantage of the tax law. More importantly, you know enough to know when you need to call your tax pro. Call me before you make a major decision. A lot of times I want to do this. Okay, here's how you do it where it's taxable, where it's tax deductible. Or here's how you do it where you minimize the taxes, all right? That's important, but you need to know enough to ask, all right? The third thing is you need to have good records, all right? At the end of the day, documentation, documentation, documentation. So you need to keep good accounting records so that you're not paying tax on things you shouldn't, and good accounting records so you're deducting everything you can, and good accounting records so you can support it. You should have something like a Mile IQ for your mileage. You should have something like the Talk Card or something that keeps track of all your spending and online, something like that. Get with your tax professional and see what you can do. Those are 3 things that are guaranteed to reduce your taxes in 2019. Take advantage of them. It's time. We're in, almost September. So we're heading into the last 4 months of the year. It's time to start looking at tax season, tax planning, and make sure that you're paying as low as possible. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne and the Troublesome Tessie, who's chewing on a box now. Saying, until next time, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.